Thank you for joining us for another edition of From the Frontlines. I'm joined today by Sarah Cox. She's with the Little Huskies Learning Center in the Hamilton Heights School Corporation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about Little Huskies Learning Center.
Well, Little Huskies is attached to the Hamilton Heights Elementary School. We are in our own wing. We serve 80 children in our program, 4 classes of 20. And our hope is to encourage them and inspire them to want to be great learners and to be great Huskies and succeed in all aspects of their academic career. And then hopefully we get to see them as seniors graduate, and they will always remember us as the foundation that started them here.
So how are these little guys doing? I know you've got 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. How are they doing in this age of COVID?
You know, kids are great. Kids are really resilient. They know how to make the most of their days. So 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, I got to tell you, we're very blessed here. They're very easy for as many aspects of COVID that have changed so many of our adult worlds. The kids are doing great. They're having a good time.
You had mentioned that preschool is maybe a little easier to control this because you do have smaller ratios. Talk about that.
So our classrooms, we have 4 classrooms in this program. There are 20 children to each classroom, 2 adults to each classroom. So we're working at 1 to 10. And then obviously I am here to maintain being a support person for the teachers and the IAs, for the kiddos. If we have a sick one that needs to go to the nurse or a behavior issue, I can be there for that. Every so once in a while, we'll have kids that need a break from the classroom, and I can be there for that as well. But with the ratio that we have, the nine adults to 80 kids, we're able to give a little bit more one-on-one time when needed.
Well, and the benefit that you got too is you have your own wing of the school building, which is nice for COVID, but it kind of it limits what you usually do in terms of prepping these kids to get them ready to go into the big school, right?
Yes. So yes, we usually use the cafeteria. We use the gymnasiums often as part of our program. This year, we're not doing those things. So one of the changes that we implemented here was that we kind of makeshift our area to be our own cafeteria at lunchtime. We move tables around and open up some of our mobile walls to be able to accommodate the classrooms, 80 kids. About 10 of those are half-day kiddos. So they go home. We seat the other ones according to class so that they can be with the same members that they are with during the school day in their classrooms. That way, for contacts tracing purposes, we have our kiddos back here and they're not going to the cafeteria with the other kids. That's been a different aspect this year than we've ever done. We kind of had to throw it all together that first week. It wasn't something that we looked at in June and said, we should come up with a solution for this. We came and thought, oh, we didn't think of this part. And we kind of had to make that happen quickly. However, we have a great admin team here. So I said, we need more chairs. And they got us more chairs as quickly as possible. They borrowed them from the high school. So we had little kids in big kid chairs, but it worked. And so we're having lunch here every day. And then we have to change that all back to meet the afternoon needs of our program. That was kind of different. We're not using the gymnasium as much as we used to. We did start going to the gym at the very end of the school day. There is about a 15-minute gap of time between my preschoolers leaving and when they're supposed to get on the buses. And so we did get permission in late fall to go in after all the classes were done in the gymnasium to kind of let them run out some wiggles before they get on those buses and are strapped in for a little while. But those would be the 2 major challenges. We're not out in the hallways as much. They don't get to meet the other teachers in the school building as much. Our principal and vice principal do a great job of coming back here so that their faces are seen. And we always like that, but they don't get to see the school for what the building is as a whole. And that's always been a major part of our program.
That's a bummer. I know too that, as a parent who's had a child that age, that learning is very much a hands-on thing for them. And I imagine that has shifted a little bit for you too.
It has. We've taken away some of our tactile learning objects. We've taken away some sensory table activities simply because it's hard to have multiple hands in a little place and then figure out how to sanitize those objects. Dress up clothes, not here. A lot of, we had some soft seating, some bean bags and, stuffed animals and things of that kind that you have in preschool. We're not doing those types of toys as much, more so, building blocks, hard plastic objects that can be put in dishwashers to sanitize, or we can spray down with our sanitizing sprays. That's been a little bit different, but again, when the kids didn't have it there to start the year, it's not like we were taking something away. So they knew what they had, and that's what they get. And then hopefully, if we can ever reintroduce some of those things, whether it be this spring or next fall, those kids will find that to be a special treat.
Well, and you talk about the resiliency of the kids, but it sounds like your teachers have been nothing short of amazing as well.
Yes, I would say that for COVID, with kids of this age, the teachers this year have definitely stepped up to take the hardship. There's a lot of reminding kids to put on masks. There's a lot of hand sanitizing. There's a lot of reminding kids to wash their hands. And in preschool, you already have the reminder to go to the bathroom, even if you say you don't have to go. We have a nap time, so that's been tricky because we did have to arrange cots in a way that kept children's heads apart. But again, for the most part, those are the typical stressors. And then we had to add the hand washing, the hand sanitizing, keeping your masks on. That's just one more thing. But I will say that preschool teachers' eyes, they're always darting to the next kid. It's a constant scan of your classroom and who's doing what. And so for that reason, that's been very easy. The teachers have done a great job, though, communicating. When a child is sick in our program, we have been asking parents to give us what their symptoms are, and we typically have not done that in the past. So the teachers have done a great job communicating with parents to let them know that, we need to have some of that information passed on. They're doing a great job with getting together packets for kiddos that have been quarantined. And they've had the opportunity to send home work that can be done. So if a kiddo's not sick, but say a parent might be and they have to stay home, there's something for them to do. The teachers have really stepped up. That's not something that they were ever intended or asked to do. It's a private program. Preschool closes. We're not sending home homework sheets. We're not doing Zoom attendance calls. We halt tuition payments and call it a day and wait until we can come back. But we've been really fortunate. We haven't had to do that. Last spring, we closed, told everybody that we were on hiatus, and all of my teachers on their own terms decided to either create their own YouTube channel or their own Facebook page and did adorable circle time activities and a quick science experiment, or let's do some motion and movement together. And they would email it to their parents because that's how much these teachers care about these kids. And they were not asked to do that. They were not expected. It wasn't even something that came up as an idea. They all kind of just did it on their own in their own ways. And it was great. We have gotten more compliments about these teachers since COVID hit in March than I have in the previous 3 years that I've been here.
That's fantastic. Sarah Cox, the director of Little Huskies Learning Center in the Hamilton Heights School Corporation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tammy.
Good luck to you in the rest of the semester ahead.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too.